That's cool. so guys, we're going to start back now. Hi everyone, if you can get you to come back in and take your seats, we're going to get ready to start part 2. Maybe close that door. You know it's quite warm in here as well, so the housekeeping back home. We've got 2 or 3 fans on and try to open this door, so hopefully it will be a bit cooler, at least for the next half an hour. I just wanted to share the Wi-Fi password with people because I was hoping that lots of people would tweet us, Snapchat. Yeah, use Snapchat. Exactly. Obviously, you can't do it without the password. If you want to get your phones out, this is for one day only. There's 3 options, and you basically want to choose the top one, whichever one doesn't say Mary's staff. The password is ready. Come on. Hang up if you're not ready. Sorry guys, we're just waiting for those 4 people. Okay, so the password is Mary's Center 2008. I'm going to spell it. MARYSCENTRE 2008. One more time. MARYSCENTRE 2008. Now everyone must snap. Oh my. Really? Okay, so it's the top one. There is a chance that you're going to overwhelm the Wi-Fi, I'll just say that, but hopefully everyone can at least tell their friends where they are. Well, so the top option, whichever one doesn't say staff, is the one you want to select as the network. Password is Mary's Center 2008. No, it's all lower caps, and it's all one word. Even the numbers. MARYSCENTRE 2008. Excellent. I'll hand you over to Victoria. She's doing well so far, isn't she? We're going to now enter into our second part of today's panel discussion, and we're going to keep the answers really brief and quick and snappy, so like 2 minutes max. So the next question is, what are you doing to ensure your growth and development continues as a leader? Simply, do you want to start? We're starting with the mic. Oh, the mic. That's not you using it. Oh.
Thanks. I will keep it short, 2 minutes. I think this is a really great question, and I definitely think I need to do this more. But I think one key thing is really continuously get feedback from people and reflect on it. That is so important. Feedback from 360-degree feedback. Not just your superior, but your junior colleagues as well, your friends, everybody get some feedback. And make sure that you reflect on it, make sure that you really think about it, and make sure that you really use it and apply it. So think about what your strengths are from those feedback so that you can leverage that in future. Think about what your weaknesses are, not only to improve on it, but also to find ways to outsource it to other people. Because that's what team is about. You gotta find somebody who can spot you in your weakness, you know? And I think, yeah, the other thing is just really the intellectual curiosity bit. So continue to look out for some of these studies out there. The TED Talks are amazing, right? You know, people that you find inspirational, inspiring, those are the people, listen to their talks, their stories, and see in what ways you can borrow some of their ideas and apply it yourself and give it a go and try to find your own leadership. But I think it's so important that your leadership is a leadership that can be adaptive to environment, the job, the situation, and your team. All right, I'll just, yeah.
Thanks. Again, memory, super bad. You're going to have to repeat the question. I'm so sorry.
So, what are you doing to ensure your growth and development continues as a leader?
Okay. I have so much to say, guys. I talk too much. This is why I love what I do. But one of the things that I would say is reading. And no, it's not just because I do English literature and I'm a true nerd and I love reading, but I believe that everyone needs to read. Reading is so important. Reading books out there. There's so many books out there that you can read, whether it be because you want to start a business or some of the books that you mentioned. I've written it down and I'm going to go and get them and read. But you have to read, guys. Open up your mind, because sometimes we can feel like we know everything, or that we know what we're talking about in that industry because we've been doing it for so long, or we know what we're talking about just because, oh yeah, like this is what I study. No, open up your mind to different things and read. It's so, so key and so important. And the second thing I would say is this: networking. I make sure that I network all the time. As I say all the time in my videos, etc., your network is your net worth. You do not know who you're going to meet. You do not know who the person next to you right now, guys, I want you to look at each other. Look to your left, look to your right. Honestly, you need to network with the people that are around you, because you don't know how powerful this network could be. I went to a leadership program recently, and I'm seeing a couple of faces from the leadership program. Hey guys. It was amazing, and one of the things that they said, that they kept repeating, was that you don't know, you could be sitting next to your business partner, you could be sitting next to the person that could be making you millions in the future, so make sure you network, you talk to everyone in this room, get business cards, talk to each other, network. And that for me personally allows me to keep growing and to moving forward, because I keep picking up new minds and new ways of looking at things and etc. So yeah, networking.
Okay, so I'm going to try and keep it short as well. For me, the way I'm going to try and develop, or the way I am trying to grow, like as a leader, is to become comfortable with being uncomfortable. And by that, I mean having conversations where you feel like you're out of your depth. Having conversations that you don't really like because you're making yourself like look, like you don't know things, or you feel like you have to go away and read something or read into something and come back. Like, that's what I'm trying to do at the moment. I know I mentioned earlier that I'm working on like a tech startup, so a mobile app. And again, I'm from a humanities background. I do not know some of the jargon that this app developer was talking to me about. I had no idea. And they were looking at me like I was actually like dumb, which was rude. But I had to learn to take that. You have to learn to be humble. You have to learn to like that, to like knowing that there's somewhere for you to grow, there's somewhere for you to go. To be honest, that's a beautiful thing. Like, I'm scared of getting to a point where I feel like I've done everything. Like, that's a really bad position to be in. I don't think like anyone should ever feel in that position. Like, as you were saying, there's always something to read, there's always something to learn about. Momentum and progress, and there being a gap between where you are and where you want to be is what drives me. So just become comfortable with being uncomfortable, because it's a blessing. Like, it's just an opportunity to learn.
So just carrying on from the theme of what everyone has said so far, I think for me, obviously, in my field, it's all about education. The number of exams that we have to do is so much, but that's because they want us to keep developing, and even you don't want a doctor who has sort of stayed on the same level from when they started 3 years in, 4 years and 5 years in. In addition to all our clinical stuff, we still have to show leadership. So for example, it's about putting yourself forward. It's about, so how can I develop as a leader, or what opportunities are there for me to be able to actually lead. So for example, a project is coming up and you say, I want to get involved in that. I want to do that. I want to show my leadership skills. You want to show that actually you can do it, and it's by And she said being uncomfortable, learning from the experience, that's what makes you a better leader. I think no one is born a leader, or actually, well, some people are born leaders, but no one, but no one is born at that point whereby you know everything, you're at the top of your game. Everyone, even the top CEOs of all the Fortune 500 companies, they started from somewhere. They started from entry-level positions and they worked their way up. And it's important because it's always interesting because one of the people I like is Sheryl Sandberg, and she was saying that men, they're promoted based on their potential, whereas women are promoted based on their past accomplishments. So you're already up against a struggle as a woman because you find that men are more likely to get promoted because they go, actually, I can see the potential in them. However, women have to prove themselves. The only way you can prove yourself is by pushing yourself forward, okay? So when there's the opportunity to say, okay, we want someone to organize this project, we want someone to do this thing, so by saying, I will do it, I want to do it. Be that first person to get in there, get stuck in, get your teeth. Let's talk about, I heard people talk about grit earlier, about resilience. It's about pushing yourself out there. And people start to recognize you, people start to trust you. They know that when I give her a project, she will deliver, she will do it. And unfortunately, it's an uphill battle, but women get promoted based on your accomplishments, not on our potential. That's, that's something different, but to be a leader, that's the thing as a woman you have to do. It's about education, so it's not, we need to read, and again, because of my field, we read a lot, but it's about reading extensively. It's about having both formal and informal training. So yes, coming to programs, and I'll give actually a quick story if you just bear with me just 1 minute, with the project that we do, because my passion, or obviously my background in Nigeria and Africa, you have lots of people who die from diseases, people have road traffic accidents, and everyone is there going, ah, but no one does anything. They're just standing there either Snapchatting or tweeting. And I'm like, guys, come on. And people are there, like in the cars, and people are just wailing, and no one's doing anything. So I was like, right, this is the problem. I'm going to find a solution. This is not okay. We live in the 21st century, okay? And everyone, we know that people, if they're educated, they can take ownership of their problems. So I said, okay, look at the Ebola crisis. They taught people what to do, and actually they were able to stop the spread of disease. If we can teach people what to do, actually we can make a difference. And so I said, right, what I'm going to do, I'm going to start offering free first aid training in Africa, okay? To developing countries, to the community, free, no charge, nothing. But somehow I need to raise money. It's, the cost of tickets, finding the doctors there. I'm going to get charged. This is going to, I need to find a solution. I went to a network event. There's a company that does mannequins, so like first aid mannequins. They're called Ladil. They're the biggest world manufacturers of mannequins. I was talking to them about the project. I told them about what I was hoping to do, and they said to me, do you know what? Drop me an email, and we'll have a discussion. Literally just from a network event like this, and he gave us goods worth £4,000. Literally, because he was so impressed with the project, he wanted to be involved in it. We send them pictures and updates about what we do, because opportunities are there. You just have to, as a leader, you need to network. You need to know about events, what's going on. Be social. Look on social media. Get Snapchatting, get tweeting right now. But look at what programs are available out there. Go for these things. Network, because as Sarah already said, you don't know who's sitting next to you. And these are all things that if you keep doing, eventually it might be lots of no's, lots of shut doors, but eventually one door is going to open that's going to lead you to your throne. All right.
And my last question, which is actually my favourite one, is looking at where you all are now. If there was one thing that you could say to your younger self, what would it be? So let's keep it.
So there are 3 things that I thought about. First is networking. I didn't want to network not because I didn't feel comfortable networking, but I think I was very naive. I was like, I'm going to do everything by myself. I'm not going to depend on other people to do this, because I've forever had that, and nobody really reached out to help me to begin with. I'm so grateful for supporters and so on, but I think I wish I would have changed the mentality towards networking earlier on, and not think that it's something bad, and just really reach out to people and connect and see in what ways we can both mutually benefit each other. The other thing is stop comparing myself to other people. That was so hard, especially if you got a mom who constantly compares you with everybody in the world. Like, she's like, your cousin did this. She watches TV and look at her, she's like that. Why aren't you like that? I'm like, oh my God, seriously. And it's really hard to get out of the environment, but you really gotta really compete only against yourself. I mean, otherwise it's gonna be really stressful for you. You're not gonna achieve the goal that you really want to achieve. You're not gonna become the person that you really want to become. Which leads on to the third one. Really reflect on who you want to be, what your vision is, what your purpose is. And I did this exercise a couple months ago, so hopefully this will be useful for you guys too. So divide your life into different timelines. So maybe from age like 0 to 5 and 6 to like 10, 11 to, I don't know, 13, 14 to 18 and 19 to now or whatever. And then reflect on what were the events that happened that really got you excited. And then think about, why was it so exciting? What were the skills that you demonstrated? Who were the people involved in your relationship with them? And if you reflect on that across these timelines, time frames, you may be able to see a theme that kind of helps you understand what really gets you going, what really excites you, and about your natural strength. Because strengths are not only what you're good at, but what energizes you, what strengthens you. And then also the last question around people involved and so on that can help you understand the environment that will lead you to success, what kind of people and resources you need to achieve your goal. And that was such a useful thing for me, because, and also in the end I looked at it and I was like, you know, there are 3 words that really pops out, which is empathy, justice, and persistence. So empathy is a strength that I really enjoy practicing. It reinvigorates me whenever I do it. Justice, it has to have some sense of like justice, doing good. That's where I get my sense of fulfillment. And if I can have those 2, I can be really persistent about it. And those 3 things are what's gonna make me successful. That's my bearing. But yeah, I'll leave it at there. Hopefully you guys can do that exercise too and see, kind of reflect on where your bearing is. And it's okay if it's, actually when my brother did this exercise, it was really useful because he's like, oh my God, I've done everything just to get people's approval. I don't know what I'm excited about. I was excited when I got approval for this from my dad, from mom. So this is also a really good exercise for you to just reflect on who you are, and maybe you need to change what you think is rewarding and exciting for you. Yeah.
I actually remember this one, this question. So if I could go back and tell myself anything, I think I just wrote it down now because it is something that I really, really wish someone had told me, not to be so hard on myself and to calm down. Because one thing about me is that since I've been very young, I've always been very determined. Like, I think you guys can tell how determined I am and how I refuse to let anything get in my way. But from a very young age, I felt as though, you know, there were certain things that I had to do and I had to keep going, I had to keep. But really and truly, I was actually doing more damage to myself. So I made a video on my YouTube channel called How I Nearly Killed Myself. And that video was based on the fact that, not because I was suicidal, but based on the fact that I was doing too much. And I literally pushed myself to the point where I personally felt like I wasn't healthy, I was getting sick. I wasn't looking after myself anymore. And yes, I was determined, I was motivated, and I was like, yeah, I can do this. But I also forgot that I was still young and I still needed to learn and to take my time. And that's still something that I still battle with even till this day, because sometimes I feel like, no, but I need to do the most. And if you ask my friends, I still do the most. But now I just have a certain level where sometimes I say to myself, do you know what? You just need to stop now. It's okay. Take a holiday. And now that because I work, I can afford to go on holiday. I say to myself, every single year I'm going to go on holiday, and that's my break. So yeah, if I could look back, I would just tell myself to just calm down, to take time, and just know that something that I've even said in a video before is that you can do it all, but just not all at the same time. You know, you can do everything that you want to conquer, all of your dreams, all the plans that you've got set up. You can do it, but not at the same time, because you're a human being and there's only one of you. And what is the point of being successful if by 40 you die because you weren't looking after yourself? What are you going to enjoy? You're not going to enjoy any of it because you were too busy killing yourself. You didn't even realize, hit 40, get sick, and then you die. What's the point? So yeah, that's one thing that I would say. Just take time, let everything happen in the time that it's supposed to happen, and look after yourself as well.
tell myself anything, looking back, it would probably be to have enough courage to take the big opportunities now, and that you can figure out the finer details later. I still am someone who, as I was saying earlier, I can't improvise. I'm someone that likes to have a plan for everything.